Here's the bad news. There's still 12.8 million Americans who are out of work. 5.4 million have been unemployed for 6 months or more.
39% of households in the city live in asset poverty. That's a lack of wealth or assets to sustain a family for 3 months if there is a job loss, a medical emergency, or some other financial crisis.
This is Talk of the Nation. I'm Jennifer Ludden in Washington. A troubling new video has reinvigorated the debate over special needs education. A father was told his special needs child was unruly, so he sent him to school wearing a wire. On the recording, his son is harassed and mocked by a teacher and aide in a special needs classroom.
Hi, welcome to Jewish Family Service. How can we help you?
I could have lost the one thing that means the world to me, my baby girl. My husband was a total mess. Drugs and alcohol, cheating, and of course, lies. He'd get drunk and high and hit me. But he promised he'd never hit my baby girl. I believed him. But one night, when he was in such a rage against me, he took my daughter, picked her up, and threw her across the room, against the wall. That was my wake-up call. I realized my child could have been killed. That night, I took my child, the few dollars I could find, and my ID. We walked out into the cold winter night, and I found my way to a neighbor's house. The next morning, she told me about Jewish Family Service. We took the bus, walked right in, and as scared as I was, it felt like home from the start. My counselor and I made plans for safety. She helped me find the appropriate shelter and worked with me throughout the journey. They started my daughter on what they called play therapy, but there wasn't much playing going on. She would throw the dolls they gave her in the trash and say, "Bad baby, bad baby." But through play therapy, she started to sort out what happened to her and how she was really feeling. Now, when we come to JFS, she plays with the dolls, talks with them, plays games with them. We've embarked on a new life with the help of JFS. I was able to take full advantage of their employment services. I've got a job now, and we're safe. It has been a long haul with trying times, but I've always felt supported and safe with JFS.
My wife and I were married for 56 wonderful years. We were blessed, you could say, and I was grateful. But when she died in a car accident, I just fell apart. For months, I didn't leave my apartment, and my health got very, very bad. My daughter kept nagging me to move to Dallas to be closer to her. Eventually, I gave in to make her happy, but it only got worse for me. And more than once, I seriously thought about ending my own life. I thought back to months ago when my granddaughter was having trouble interacting with classmates and performing in school. The principal recommended our family take her to Jewish Family Service, where she had some testing done and worked closely with their special needs resource team. My granddaughter became my inspiration, you could say, because even though I'm 75, I also decided to visit with a JFS therapist, a counselor for older adults. And that visit changed everything. The counselor explained to me that I was suffering from depression and still grieving the loss of my wife. She told me it was very common, especially since my loss was so sudden. She made appointments for me to come see her to talk about what I was thinking and feeling. I can't even begin to tell you how much this has helped. She set up JFS transportation to get me to all of my various healthcare appointments. And she even introduced me to a young man who now visits me at home once a month and calls me in between. We talk about business and politics, football, anything we want to talk about. JFS calls him a volunteer-friendly visitor, but to me, he's a true friend. Thanks to Jewish Family Service, I feel like I have a future again.
Never did I ever think I would have to ask someone for help, but then imagine what it feels like to be the head of the household and you can't take care of your family. When I first got laid off, I couldn't tell my wife. Every morning I would get up, help get the kids all dressed and fed, and then I would pretend to go to work. We ran out of money altogether, and that is when I had to tell my wife. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and there was no end in sight. Finally, I called 211 for help, and they told me about Jewish Family Service. I hated walking into JFS food pantry, feeling like a charity case, but they were the kindest people, giving me much needed food and treating me just how they would want to be treated. My case manager told me about all of the job resources, and that's when I started using their job center with computers and printers, attending the networking groups and meeting with an employment counselor, all at the same place. It took a few months, but I found a new job. I've been working a year and a half now. I now have what I didn't have the first time I called: hope.
For over 60 years, the professional and experienced staff at Jewish Family Service has been providing comprehensive mental health and social services to the greater Dallas community. Our nationally accredited continuum of care ensures that each person and family receives wraparound support so they can reach their goals of emotional and physical self-sufficiency.
This past year, over 10,000 people came through our doors for help. Some were looking for a specific service.
Others had no idea what they were looking for, only knowing that they needed help.
For whatever reason people turn to Jewish Family Service, the experienced and professional staff strives to make a positive difference in every life that they touch, in an atmosphere of respect and confidentiality.
Whether someone comes to us for food, emotional support, help finding a job, or resources for their family, JFS is always here with our door wide open, ready and able to help.
At JFS, we believe that any of us may need help from time to time as we navigate life's unexpected crises and challenging transitions.
Anyone, by the way, can get help at Jewish Family Services. As a United Way funded organization, their services are provided for free or based on what clients can afford.